Africa, 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 Africa.
Working it out, black, indigenous like Arawak. Word power sound, under with them overground. Roots deeper than Shambhala Jack, holla back. True and living in natural stat, factual acts. Reppin' the universal dark matter strata. Fiction got to crumble, falsehood shatter like who's God and who's the devil. Accountable for all your actions, playing field level. Earthly vessels on the sea of life floating. Open, these herbs are so potent. Damiana with a shot of guarana. Pure energy, negativity ain't ruling me. I reverse the vibration, humble through prostration. Blaming the ego on fire like a Leo. The one like Neo, baby, ask about me. Everywhere like air won't last without me. Let's tap in, it's deeper than rapping. Look at what's happening around you. It'll drown you if you wait on your job. Better get on it hard. Let's tap in. It's deeper.
Confidence is so important because having a connection with my spiritual guides. I was at a ceremony recently, and we were having what's called a misa with the Bovada and the spiritualist. And my spirit, he talks to me like I'm talking to you.
Right. Exactly.
And you know, for a long time it was like a disco. We would go through something, like he would tell me things and I would be like, that's just not even, that can't possibly be, like, are you serious? And so we're sitting there and he tells me that there's a young woman having some kind of an issue. And I'm like, nah. So I get to the point because I'm like, well, what happens is the possession only comes after I don't want to necessarily say the things that the spirit is telling me to say. Okay? The possession comes because the deity says, all right, you're not going to pass my message on, well, I'm going to take over. And because I've been initiated, the spirit has the right to do that. Okay? Because there are checks and balances in order to bring him and send him back. So he's telling me this about this, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to say that. So finally, I say it, blah, blah, blah. Right? Nobody says anything. They quiet, like a library. Okay. They're coming up with every reason why maybe it was this. All right. Till I get possessed. It isn't until I get home with my god sister that I'm like, yo, what was he talking about? And she's like, oh yeah, the girl finally confessed. And you understand? But that's a relationship that you have with your spirit, which is based on confidence. That the spirit is confiding in you the information. I'm telling you, this is how it is.
Yeah.
Okay? I could go on and on for hours about different things of evidence where the spirit was telling me something and it was dead on. Okay? And everybody here has that ability.
Yes, they do.
Everybody here has that ability. It is up to you to go through the exercises to fine-tune your station.
Yes.
Okay? You got to be able to stick your antenna up and fine-tune so that you hear the voice loud and clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay? The more confidence you put in your spirit, the more interaction you have with people who are like-minded of you that will be able to identify and say that spirit that you're listening to, yeah, he has some information, but he's a bad spirit. Let's get rid of him. Okay? Because soon he's going to gain your confidence to get you to do something that's going to be to your detriment.
That's true.
Okay? So you have to necessarily, that's why I said it's important when you meet these people, if the lady's like, oh, let's go in the downstairs in the basement, and she killing the chickens, and she cooking, and she doing everything, and ain't nobody else there, you need to watch her. She's a charlatan. You understand? She's trying to take your money because she's not trying to be in interaction with other people, with other peers, because this is about community. It's a checks and balance system. If I take too many, if I come, everybody here and you come and I see you and I charge you a whole bunch of money, eventually I'm going to go somewhere with one of my elders and they'll be like, you know what? You need to cut that out. But if I don't go around them, then I don't have to go to that scrutiny. Okay? So it's very important. Like I said, everybody here has the ability. You're born with one of either 3 different traits. You're either audiovoyant, clairvoyant, or intuitive.
Right.
Or you have dreams.
Right.
Okay? Everybody has one of these different avenues that spirit speaks to us through. Some people dream. They have a dream. You wake up, you could bet money on that. They tell you, oh, the secretary is going to win in Kentucky Derby. You could put all your money on it. Some people, they see things.
Yes.
They're clairvoyant. Some people are audiovoyant. They hear things. They don't know what it is. Some people are intuitive. They get a feeling. They can't explain it.
Right.
Okay? Some people have a bit of all 4 things.
Yeah.
Okay? It's up to you to necessarily. This is why the initiation, this is why the systems are so important. Okay? I've heard brothers, they like, oh, I read this book and boom, and now I'm the shaman. Like, no. If you tell me you read a book about Obatala and you think you know him, you have no idea. Absolutely. Because you're talking to something that you have not been introduced to. See, I have a name. When I get initiated, to every initiation that I went through, I was given a name that I can proclaim myself. I am. So that the spirit go, okay, and I can call a bunch of people from behind me that gave me the license and the authority to be here. So that spirit or that deity said, okay, well, let's come to a point of agreement. If you read a book and you like, well, I know about this because I read a book and I just put something together. Like you said, you don't know because you don't know the checks and balances that create that system, that something else can come in there. And it will mask itself as that. Oh yeah, I'm about to lie. Sure. Sure. Beat your kids. Throw them out the window. Then you're like, oh, Batala told me to do that. No. Okay? This is the importance of initiation and ritual codification. Okay? People that necessarily just pick from different places. And like I said, this is, you see these altars, they give you a understanding. Like I said, you start off with a glass of water. When you come in contact with other mediums, they will tell you certain things about people that you forgot about. They'd be like, oh, your grandfather, he liked that Black Label Johnny Walker. You're like, oh yeah, he damn sure did drink that. You need to get to a bottle of that, put that to him. And when you put it there, now put him to work. Okay, because as Africans, we do not believe in rest in peace. Let me be clear about that. There's no such thing as rest in peace. You get to heaven, you better be helping me out, bro. You better be helping me out. Like, yo, listen, there ain't no rest in what? Peace. Nah, we don't believe in that. We believe in working and in helping one another. The spiritual world, the spiritual altar. Imagine if you have an altar for your spiritual gods or your ancestors. Imagine in the other reality that they have a spiritual altar for you.
Exactly.
That when you put fresh water and those things for them, those are things, are commodities that they need in their reality. They provide you the commodities that you need in this reality. Okay? So it is a cooperative effort between the spirit and you. It is not something like, oh, and then don't get it twisted, because I know some people, they be like, oh, well, he don't do what I tell him to do. I'm going to take it easy. Because I went through that myself. Like, oh, he don't do, I'm not giving him nothing. He's like, okay, watch this. He going to make it rain. Oh, gosh. Oh, boy, let me get out of this. Then somebody come and be like, yo, you know you're supposed to give him such and such. Like, all right. You understand? Because it's a cooperative effort. Okay? And that's what we're about. It's cooperation as African people, as indigenous people. We're about cooperation. We're about a bartering system.
It's balance.
Absolutely. It's all about balance. So even with the Congo, see, people will demonize Paulo. Oh, that's what they do to witchcraft and all that. But guess what? We're all products of people who've been oppressed. You better have something that you need, that you can work, that's going to do the malicious work, because that's what the Congolese actually became known for. He was the one he is the author of black civil rights. Understand that. It was the Congolese that said, I ain't cutting no more cane today. Are you serious? You see how hard it is? I don't get no day off? We ain't doing nothing. Okay? And it was his witchcraft that you hear about when they talk about bed warmers. It was those Congolese women that put that stuff in the white woman's tea to make her die so that they could get closer to the white man and be like, I'm going to make sure my sons and my brothers and them don't get whooped. Okay? It's that same witchcraft that would allow us to survive in this environment.
Exactly.
Okay? So in Cuba, when you hear them talk about the Congolese, a lot of the songs that they reminisce with the Congolese are protest. If you go to Africa and get it, understand this. Because Africa is the seed. It is the mother of what we do. But in the context of going to the traditional African system, it's more cultural. And we don't have the luxury of practicing in that environment. We don't live in compounds where we can actually, have the shrine be embedded in the earth. We don't have that luxury. We live in urban environment where we have our icons and they're allowed to, we have, there's a system of there's some stuff, if something, the house is on fire, I know what to grab. Like, okay, I gotta go, okay? So there's a chasm going on between people who practice that are saying, one is stronger than the other, and there's no comparison. I mean, in Africa, they're going to do phenomena that we haven't been able to even tap into our brains to do. Okay, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that we don't really we don't champion the concept of us being a new breed of the human race, and what that entails. We have to tap into. In the context, even as a practitioner of Congo, they have certain deified ancestors that are connected to the Cuban Revolution. But now we have to revamp some of those things, those ideas, and attach them to a concept of elevating people like Nat Turner, Denmark Vesey, Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth. We need to deify those ancestors that are connected to us so that they have the power to give us conversation on how to liberate us here. Okay? Because they have deified ancestors in Cuba such as Francisco and Kunda Francisca that are nationalistically attached to them. We need to first we have to champion and perfect the system as we know it here. And once we have that down packed, then we can now expound to necessarily elevate our ancestors, such as Frederick Douglass and all the other black